Welcome to Woomates, a podcast where we talk openly and honestly about the emotional realities of motherhood. We're your hosts, Lela
and Lily.
Today we're going to be talking about why am I so drained? The invisible load of motherhood.
Yep. There's a lot to talk about today. As we were talking about before we even started recording, I was like, maybe we should start recording now.
Yeah, we were already talking about it and we weren't recording yet.
So we got to remember that conversation.
So what are the main points we're going to make today? Because I did a little bit of like science research stuff about motherhood and the like what's happening in the brain and why it might feel more draining and all that good stuff. What do you have for us? What are you bringing to the table?
Lived experience.
That's it?
That's all I got.
Being a mom. I'm just kidding.
Just being a mom. That's all. That's all I have to contribute is the reality.
That's
well,
enough.
I like thought of this episode because I discovered what was working for me, and I was like, well, I feel better, and I think this is why. So maybe we could just start with that, because I do have weeks where I feel like extra drained, and that is a lot of external factors. But I think that this is something that every single person, even if you're not a mom or a dad or anything, caregiver, feel on different levels. It's just like some people notice it more than others, and I think that when you feel drained and tired and like it's hard to know how to navigate that, because first of all, for me anyway, I feel like I shouldn't feel that way, or I feel like I invalidate myself. And that's what we were talking about before we started this episode, is like, how do you know when you're drained versus when you should just push through? And that is something I struggle with a lot.
I think you can do both, but I think we were talking about how you know when you're like to the point of I need help versus like I can just push through without this being detrimental. Because you can be drained and push through, but there's a difference between being out of your tolerance zone.
Yeah, and I think that's something everyone has to kind of discover.
Yeah.
That's the fun journey. You just got to learn what works for you. So I discovered I felt less drained when I had consistent scheduled times to look forward to throughout the week of just like breaks or something different, because I get like really drained when I feel trapped or when I feel like I'm just doing the same thing every day, and things like feel a lot harder when it's like monotonous, and I just feel like I feel very trapped right now, and that's the worst feeling for me. So when I have like consistent things that I do on like Mondays or Tuesdays or whatever, it like gives me something to look forward to. For example, on Wednesdays, my mom comes over and watches Romy all day, so I can do what I need to do, which is either work on stuff, take a break, do chores, whatever I feel like I need to do that day. I think that has helped me a lot. Knowing that I have a full day where I could like put things aside. Also on Thursdays, you watched Romy for a couple hours. So that's good. And Jacob wakes up with Romy, my husband, 2 mornings a week. So that kind of feels like my weekend. So like Thursday and Fridays, he'll wake up with her and do breakfast. So I can like try to sleep in, but my body clock does not let me. But I try, and if I don't, then I just relax in the morning and get a shower or like do things that need to be done or just do nothing. And on Fridays, I started a little tradition where me and Romy go get a smoothie together, and then sometimes we go to the car wash because she loves it.
That's real cute.
Yeah. So I think like having a rhythm like that. And I've noticed that Mondays and Tuesdays feel really hard. And I think it's because I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday where I have people helping, or at least people around. And then Monday and Tuesday, I'm like all by myself. So I'm like, it feels like what happened? Where'd everybody go? But I do think that just having those 4 days of at least having someone else there.
Well, do you just have
sometimes Fridays, not all the time.
Well, you just have something planned, even if it's small.
Yeah. Oh, Tuesdays we go story time. I do like that.
And come over here every
other Tuesday. So I have a lot of little rituals, and I think that has helped me a lot, because when I'm just like when you like have a newborn, it's hard to do that though. Because your schedule is so dependent on like
It's
their
more
feeding.
unpredictable too.
It's more
and
unpredictable.
yeah.
But I still feel like it's important even when you have a newborn because like when Romy was a newborn, I was going to say when Romy was new.
She was a new human.
Well, she had a bow on her head. You came over like every
When she
Wednesday.
had a bow on her head?
Yeah, because she was new. Just a little present.
Oh.
It's a joke. It's a dumb joke.
Okay.
I don't know. Just came in my brain. But like I was just telling Jacob this yesterday. Like we walked to Digress, the wine bar, like every Thursday or whatever day that was.
Mm-hmm.
And I really looked forward to that. I feel like it's good to like get out and be with somebody and get out of the little if you feel trapped. That's a good solution. Just reach out to somebody or go by yourself on a walk.
Yeah.
Get a little treat.
And I think like a lot of people, I like that because they're like small little things that some of them are bigger than others, but it's like you schedule small little things.
A novel experience. Like go to Disney World, even though I do that.
I've been talking about this a lot with like my clients for some reason. Like we all have a pressure valve.
Mm-hmm.
And like it can either just like build up until it explodes, or you can like release some pressure every now and then in small ways. And like maybe a vacation just like resets your pressure valve, but we don't always need to do that. You can do little things that kind of like poke a hole in it. Like go on, like have a scheduled walk to the wine bar day, or have I feel like all those things you're doing are like ways of maintaining the pressure valve. It doesn't mean it's like never going to be full, because I think certain things make the pressure valve fill up faster and more. But if you can have releases already scheduled in your thing, it takes less mental energy, first of all, and it gives you like a structure and a way to continuously release that, where you're not like, I got to do something about this right now. You don't get to that point as much, I think.
Yeah, that reminds me of the analogy I was telling you. Is sometimes I feel like I'm just like constantly underwater and I'm just trying to like come up for air and like take a breath, and then I'm just like go back under. So it's like sometimes the little things let me take a breath, but then like right after I go back under. So it's just like the little things, I feel like going to get a treat or something, like bring me up for air. And then when I'm done, I'm just like, okay, back to the grind or whatever. But then when you have like vacations, longer reset times, it helps you just like go on a float with a smoothie or something. Like you're floating on a smoothie. I mean, floating on a float.
Floating on a smoothie.
Floating on a float, drinking a smoothie.
Yeah.
Or your drink of choice.
And
margarita.
if you aren't able to do that, then I think that is the next best thing, is to just find small,
exactly.
little...
Just got to reach for what you can. But there are definitely months where I feel like that. And I think that the reason that I noticed that is because I was having a long period of time where I felt like that. And I think it's because I didn't have support for like a few weeks, because like I think people are on vacation and I don't know. There was just like a lot of combination of things happening, and that made me realize how much I rely on my people.
Yeah.
And it's really hard when you don't have that, which I didn't have that except for like, I mean, I had you, not that you didn't do anything, but when Romy was a newborn, I didn't have like as much support as I have now.
Yeah.
And I feel like that has been helping a lot.
What would you say to people who like, because I know people and some clients and stuff who like have kids, but they don't have any family around, and they have very limited friends, or if they do, they like aren't able to, like, what would your advice be to people in that situation?
Well, first of all, that is really hard. And I just saw something today that's like, that doesn't mean that I sound like ChatGPT. You're not failing. That doesn't mean that like seeing other people having it easier, it's like, what am I doing wrong? I really feel like the main thing that helps is having people around. So I feel like finding that through groups. I don't know. There's like so many Instagram and Facebook groups for like stay-at-home moms, or just like single moms, or
even
just moms,
like
or parents in general.
Finding someone who's relating.
And they have events all the time. Yeah.
To your experience.
And like it's hard, but trying to like go to those, just to, even if you don't meet anyone there. It's just like good to try. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Or I don't know. That's just like the only thing I can think of, because that's the only thing that I feel like has helped me is having other people around. Tell your friends to have
Yeah.
babies.
Well,
Just kidding.
well, I feel
But
like even like you were saying, the Facebook group thing or whatever, like it might not be the same as having a friend come over and like support
yeah,
you, but you're still like reading about other people's experiences and like putting yourself, like you're not just totally like I'm doing this on my own and do, like you're seeing what other people are saying about how they're managing things and dealing with things and what
yeah,
they.
or even just like, I don't know, finding a Reddit thread or something that you relate to and commenting on it, or messaging someone. Like, it doesn't have to be even in person if that feels too much. Those are things that I feel like can help, is like reaching out to someone that is having a similar struggle, or just finding like a forum. Are forums still a thing? Yes, because I use
I don't
them.
know.
I don't know why I said that, but What to Expect app
Are
is.
those even a thing? Yes, because I use them.
I use the What to Expect app all the time.
That's what I
because
use,
they
but
have like.
I always forget about the forum feature. I need to look at that.
I use that all the time when I was pregnant, because I was like, is this normal? And then I was just like seeing what other people's
I just text you
experiences
as my
were.
forum. I'm just like, I feel like
Well,
this. Is that
I didn't
normal?
have that.
I know. I'm saying now you've replaced
Well,
the
that's good.
forum.
But I feel like just like finding, because on that app you can look up the birth date and year, a specific forum just for that. So all the kids are like the same age as your kid. So you can ask questions, and just, I posted mini events on there, just being like, I feel lonely today. And then people are just like responding so nice and lifting you up. So even if you can't like get out and do stuff, there's a lot of other things you can do with
There's
the
so
internet.
many
The
things on the
internet can
internet.
be used for good
I'm
like that.
gonna post links in the description.
Just
I hope
don't
I
compare
remember
yourself on the internet.
I hope
Find community.
I hope I remember this. I'm
Sorry, go ahead.
gonna post links on
Yes.
because I have these websites I've been finding with like virtual support groups and peer support, and maybe there's probably
You
one
sent me
for
one,
moms.
and it was really. I did like a video. I think you sent me one when Romy was just born, and it was like
We talked about this in
video
our last
calls
episode.
with groups, and they did like a. I think one of them was like a journaling one, and one of them was
Yeah.
like just like sharing your struggles. Like, that was really helpful too. So
Also, find a therapist.
mm-hmm.
If you have insurance, then go to Psychology Today.
Highly recommend.
Search by your insurance, see what they cover. But I know that's not accessible to everybody, so that's why I'll post some links that are more accessible.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things you could do, but I understand that it feels really hard to like when you don't have any. I mean, I feel like I had you, I had mom, I had like friends that didn't have kids yet, but I had friends, but it still felt hard. So
Well, yeah,
I am
'cause-
just like, I don't know how people do that with nobody around. Like, if you move to a new place with a newborn, that sounds like really scary to me.
Yeah.
But there is like a lot of resources and help if you just like find some internet resources and message boards and therapists,
the
groups.
internet can be a good place.
It is a great place when you use it right.
Let's go to what? Did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about before I talk about my thingies?
No, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about the science behind this. Why moms feel drained, what contributes to that, and what you can do about it. So, the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking about this is the window of tolerance. Have I shared the window of tolerance with you?
Yes.
Yes. The window of tolerance is a window that we all live in, and we always go up and down within the window. Like we might be more heightened and feel more stressed some days. We might feel like more tired and fatigued other days. But as long as we're within the window, we can manage it. But sometimes the window shrinks, and it's easier for us to either feel like overly heightened, so like anxiety and the fight or flight feeling, or it can feel easier for us to feel more fatigued or like depressed, or if we're like outside the window this way. So when you become a mom, I feel like your window shrinks because you've been through a lot. Like I'm just thinking about mostly like, well, I guess throughout the whole motherhood phase, but especially like after postpartum and everything, your hormones and your sleep, like that shrinks your window. Like if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not eating enough, if you're not resting, all those things shrink your window. So like you can exit it easier. You can feel anxious easier. You can feel depleted easier. So I like to picture every time I'm like taking care of myself, of my windows widening. I'm just like, this is good because I'm widening my window so that I can have more tolerance for things.
I do that too, but it's like an energy bar, like on The Sims. I feel like
Yeah, I
I
like that
visually
too.
see when I'm feeling drained, that my energy bar is going down. And then I visually feel and see when I'm just like sitting by myself, I'm like, my bar is going up right now.
Yeah. I also, side note, I'm feeling really out of breath every time I'm talking, and I'm like not even that, I don't even feel like I'm that pregnant or big right now. But so I apologize if
Well,
I'm
you
like,
are that pregnant. You
yeah,
are fully pregnant.
I am, but I don't. Anyway, yes. I'm just feeling more out of breath than usual. And something interesting too is that like the literal changes that happen in a mom's brain. And I was trying to read more about this because like I know a little bit about it, but not enough to be like, here's what's happening confidently. But from what I read, your brain in a lot of ways is being retuned to being a mom. Like it's being retuned for caregiving, vigilance, attunement, and responding to cues. So it's like more vigilant about things, which can transfer to just like you feel like that in life in general, but it's like meant to take care of your child. So,
Can I add something into here?
yes,
This
please.
reminds me of just like how, because when you become a parent, you have to do so much like tracking and like remembering of stuff. I guess that's the reason for that, right?
Tracking and remembering of
I'm just
stuff.
thinking of like you have like a mental load, I guess they call it these days. It's like it just feels really heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're like tracking naps and snacks and breastfeeding and emotions and schedules. And it just feels like your brain like never fully turns off.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
Yeah.
literally science that says that your brain changes to handle those things.
Yes. It's getting more attuned to them. So, like, for example, your gray matter in your brain, you gain more gray matter. And gray matter is a component of the central nervous system, and it helps with things like cognitive processing, motor control, memory and emotion, and muscle regulation. So, like, if you're having more gray matter, you're more, uh, you're doing more of that, more cognitive processing, memory and emotion responses
Which
change.
sounds like it might make you a lot more tired.
Yes, natural effect of that. If you're doing more of that, I would imagine that it would add to more exhaustion for doing that more. Um, so that was interesting. That your brain is literally changing to be more attuned and to be more. I think a lot of moms know this because you feel it, but it's like you're more responsive to cues. Like you're like when a baby's crying, you have like an emotional, physical sometimes response to it. You might leak. You might feel like anxiety, or you might feel more like
Yeah, there's like an adrenaline feeling.
yeah,
Even when like that still happens to me, even though, I mean, I'm sure this will last for the rest of my life because those cries will always be in my brain. But even if it's like someone else's baby, or even if I think I hear a baby crying, like I notice my heart just like drops, or like it's like a
yeah.
learned response or something. It's crazy.
It's weird because I feel like as twins, like we have very similar responses to things and like feelings about things. But I remember when like Romeo was a baby and you would have that response, like you would get so anxious, and I'd be like, "She's fine.
Yeah.
Why are you so
I think that
like?"
now, and I actually was thinking that the other day because I was babysitting my friend's 8-month old, and I was like, don't feel like I just like had to let him cry in the crib because I had Romy with me, and I like, there's really nothing I could do. And she told me that that's fine. So I was like, you know what? I just have to do this. And it was hard, but it was definitely not as hard as like when Romy was growing up.
Yeah.
But it was like growing up. I mean,
It
like when she
is.
was little. My brain feels weird today. But it was like a realization. I was like a little bit crazy. But that's just what happens when you're a
It's
mom. I
part of,
really feel
yeah.
like it's
It's a
a
natural
natural response.
response.
Yeah.
It's normal.
I don't know. It still like brought back those feelings of when Romy was at that stage where I had to like be so alert all the time. But then I was like, wait a second, he's all right. And it was weird that I could do that.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody about this too, like that has 2 kids, and she said, looking back now, she's like, I was like a crazy person, but like in the moment, she did not think that at
Yeah.
all. Like you just feel like
I
this
feel
is
bad for my
the
husband.
normal
He was
thing to be
probably
doing.
like, everything's okay. I don't know what's happening.
And I feel like if a husband or a partner or whoever is supporting you is doing that, is responding in a helpful way, it can be very grounding too. Because like
He was never not valid. Like I feel like he was magical in that time.
Aw.
Because
Well, that's
I'm
real
gonna
cute.
tear up thinking about it. But I was just thinking about how hard it is, and a lot of people don't have that experience where like they're just being invalidated. Or I was like reading posts about these moms that were like, my husband just rolled his eyes at me because I was crying again with my newborn. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's just like your experience is very real. Not just because to someone else it's like, I don't understand why you're feeling this way, it doesn't mean it's not real to you.
Even if you are being
literally your chemicals in your brain are changing, you're not sleeping, there's like
Mm-hmm.
literally so many factors that is affecting you.
And even if you do get to a point where you like probably should get some help, like it's still not helpful to be like, ugh. That actually does the opposite.
Yeah.
Like you, even if you are overreacting or whatever,
Yeah.
then it's still real to you. Like it's still like something feels
Mm-hmm.
wrong. So it doesn't. Yeah. Anyway, we could talk about that for a while, but we're gonna move on. Another thing, I guess this isn't really like a sciencey brain thing, but it's just something I thought of, is like the added stress. It's not just like big things that happen all the time. It's like the little things throughout the day add up. So like,
like
every
all the
decision
decisions you have to make, even what you like,
what are we
make,
gonna eat for
kind of
lunch? Where are we gonna go today?
what am I gonna wear today?
How am I gonna respond to this tantrum?
Yeah.
How are we gonna handle you not wanting to get out of the crib? Like,
And that's why you need time to not be even around an opportunity for you to think about those things, I think. Like sometimes I don't even count, like nap time is nice rest time for me, but I feel like sometimes I don't even count that as rest time because I'm just like checking the monitor and I'm like making sure she's asleep and I'm like, what do I need to do? I have to be really intentional about making that rest time for me, but it's still not like my brain is not completely off, or like if I'm just still thinking about everything that I need to do.
Yeah, because I think that's another important thing to think about. Is like, what actually is rest to you? Because I feel like everyone's different.
Exactly.
What one person says is rest, which is like, my baby's napping, and I'm just like,
yeah, like if you're anticipating them waking up, you're not resting. You need to like either have someone else take care of that or figure out a way to actually rest. I don't know how. Can't help you there. Kidding. But just like,
thanks a lot for that piece of information. I'm
just like, okay, the next 10 minutes is my designated rest time. Like I'm not gonna
yeah, you have to be in the mindset of
anticipate
rest.
anything. Yeah.
And it's harder to do that as a mom because of what we just talked about. Your brain is not attuned to that anymore. It's more attuned to our brains only care about survival and safety. They do not care about your happiness. So like, your brain is always going to prioritize as a mom safety and survival over you resting. So you have to be very intentional about that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
interesting.
I am going to rest right now, and because we do need that.
Yeah,
we do need it. What else was I going to say? Oh, the next part I was going to... Well, we all know that a lot of hormones are happening, especially after you give birth and everything. So in our stress response system, the HPA axis, that takes a lot of recalibrating after you have a baby. So like, it's being studied more. I was reading about this, about how postpartum distress, anxiety, and depression, and cortisol, the stress hormone, interact. But as you're transitioning to motherhood, this is like trying to recalibrate. And this was interesting that like if it doesn't recalibrate the normal way, I guess, it could lead to postpartum anxiety because then your stress levels are too high. If it calibrates the other way, like it overcorrects and you have like lower cortisol or stress hormones, that could be postpartum depression. So that's another thing that's happening is like your stress hormones are like, they need to be high when you're giving birth and you're having baby, like that serves a purpose. But then it's like, okay, we got to go back to normal, and that can be a rough up and down feeling.
So this is all under the umbrella term matrescence, isn't it?
Yes.
I just learned about this term. I feel like it's like going not viral, but like it's becoming more aware of what this is, and they're like adding in the dictionary and stuff, and it's just literally like this phase of motherhood where I'm looking at right now. It's like hormonal fluctuations of pregnancy, birth, and lactation initiate rapid and extreme psychological transformations that are unparalleled across a lifespan. So it's like your brain is literally doing as much changes as like in this short period of time that happens over a lifetime. All these changes in your cells and your, I don't know, brain chemicals. Okay, obviously you're gonna like cry when you're not sleeping. Like, of course that's normal. So I feel like that becoming more of an awareness in society is important because it makes you feel like I'm not crazy. I shouldn't just be able to go back to work. Obviously, like I shouldn't feel like I need to go back right now.
Weird if
after
you
3 months
felt okay.
Yeah.
Or if you felt 100%.
Like that would be, you would be a marvel. Like, let's study you for science. What's going on in your brain? Yeah.
Interesting. Yes, that is true. I think that that was like the main things I want to say, but there was like one study. I'm like hesitant to say this because I don't know how accurate this is. And they did say in the study, like more research needs to be done rather than
let's talk about it.
This being like a universal truth or whatever. But the study was 304 French-speaking mothers. I don't know why that was specified. Like, do they live in France? And they found that in this specific study, being employed, working full-time, and even living without a co-parent were associated with lower maternal burnout scores.
Wait, what? Can you say that again?
In this study, being employed, working full-time, it was only one sentence.
Yeah, the last sentence.
In the study, being employed, working full-time, and even living without a co-parent were associated with lower maternal burnout scores. The authors themselves say the single mother finding is surprising. They caution that these results need more research rather than being treated like a rule. So it's saying
you have lower burnout if you're a single parent?
Without a co-parent.
What?
Yeah, I don't understand this.
And working?
I'm just saying it because I was like shooketh. But I don't think this is accurate.
That is that is something
I need to look at this more.
I've actually been looking. I feel like that's weird that you said that because I've been thinking about this because someone I follow on Instagram, she just she's separated from her husband, and she's like saying how much happier she is. And I feel like it depends on
what type of
like if you were not happy in your marriage with a kid, it's harder than when you're just a single parent.
Yeah,
being with your kid in some instances.
It depends a lot on the dynamic, for sure.
So I feel like it definitely depends on a lot of circumstances, but that is...
And another thing it was talking about is like something that leads to burnout is not feeling a sense of personal accomplishment. Like I feel like work can be like, maybe these people found accomplishment in their work more, like they were like feel more...
It's more measured.
And you have like... Because I feel like that depends too, like how many hours are you working? What job are you working? Like does it burn you out? I think... Most of the time, it makes sense that you would be more burned out if you were working and taking care of a child. But if it's something that's like you're breaking up 100% focus on just raising a child, I think that can be good for us in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like we need variety. We need other outlets and balance, I think, in our life. And you can find that within raising a child, like being a stay-at-home mom and raising a child, but I think it's harder to find that.
Yeah.
Anyway, please take all this with a grain of salt. I don't want to throw in inaccurate information out there or to say something that is inaccurate, but I just thought it was interesting.
But it is good to talk about those things because it's like, let's explore that.
Yeah.
Let's think through that.
Just something to think about. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I did think that was interesting that,
That is.
oh, this was interesting. Sorry, this is my last thing. I said I was done. I'm not. Using a more task-oriented, problem-focused coping style in parenting was associated with a stronger sense of personal accomplishment. So moms may feel a bit less swallowed by burnout when you have practical ways of responding to problems. Which makes sense. Rather than just
because
absorbing
you're like,
the
no,
stress.
you have you don't have to think through like, oh, what do I need to do now? You're just like,
Yeah.
here's
I
the
feel
way we
overwhelmed.
respond.
I'm gonna call this person
Yeah.
to help me. I'm gonna figure out a schedule for mealtime. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
approaching it that way is kind of like goes back to what you were saying at the beginning. Like you just kind of have a structure
That helps
for
me a lot.
things.
Like,
That's the first thing I
having a
thought of
structure like that.
when I read this. I was like, Lily?
Like I think of like
Task-oriented,
a tree, one of those tree
problem-focused?
charts in my brain. Like if she does this, I do this. If she does this, I do this. Like sometimes I have to think of things like that, or else I just like the uncertainty is a very overwhelming
Yeah.
for me.
Yes. Because being a mom can feel very unpredictable. I think that's probably, I can
Yeah.
imagine that would be helpful to have
You
a
need to
structure
have some
like
kind
that.
of structure and boundaries in your.
can't- Oh, wait, you can't control
life.
every single thing about what your child's doing. Well, it feels
Yeah.
like it might be easy to slip into
That is part of the growth of though, is like sometimes you just can't control it, and sometimes you just have to accept that. Or you can make tree charts.
Or
But
you
I
can
feel like
control
it's-
it in another way
Yeah.
through OCD.
Exactly. I do feel like, as is with anything, it's like dependent on your personality and just how you want to handle certain things. As long as it's not like detrimental to you or the people around you,
Yeah.
I feel like just do what you feel like works for you. Like it doesn't have to be any.
That's kind of what we were talking about before we started this episode, was like how much checking in on yourself you need to do, because
Yeah.
you really need to figure out like, what do I need? What works for me? Do I need more rest? Do I need a support? Do I need to figure out a tree chart for this situation?
Yeah.
I think it's too easy to, well, going back to our first episode, I mentioned this, but I always think about you saying this, like you were looking everywhere for answers except yourself. And I feel
Mhm.
like it's too easy to do that, the internet.
Yeah.
Like you could just Google and ChatGPT all day, but like you also need to check in with what you need, what your body is telling you, because our bodies are smart. They
Mhm.
know what you need.
Yeah, we do have to check in a lot with ourselves. Even if you're not a parent. I feel like it's very important. Because sometimes you just keep doing stuff and then you're like, wow, I am really drained all of a sudden. So just think about the window thing or the Sims bar above your head.
The needs bar. How low is your needs bar?
Yeah. What level hunger am I at today? What do I need to eat? Do I need more sleep? Do I just need to have some fun? The Sims is actually very helpful.
It's
when it
great.
comes
They
to
give you a
thinking
lot of
about-
great life lessons
Yeah, they do.
playing The Sims. Even you
Depends
can
how
be a
you play
parent.
it, but yep.
If
Some
you,
people like to trap people in rooms.
Yeah,
and-
as long as you're not putting your child in a swimming pool and draining the
and
water
getting
out.
rid of the ladder. Yeah, then you're
Oh,
fine.
yeah, getting rid of the ladder until they drown. That can be a lesson on what not to do. Okay, I have a question. For you and all parents out there. What is when you check in with yourself and what you need, what does rest look like to you?
Oh,
What is rest and what makes you feel more filled up?
That is a great question because I feel like there are things that look like rest that really aren't. Like scrolling on your phone. I've noticed when I check in with myself, as I do, after I am scrolling on Instagram, I feel like it's good in some ways, but if you're just like looking at random stuff and you're comparing yourself and you're like, wow, that is not how I feel. Why do I not feel like that? Or I wish I could do that. That is not rest. You're just overloading your brain with things and then also making yourself feel worse. I feel like that is not rest. Zoning out, binge watching stuff can be rest. But if you just like are doing it to avoid feelings, that's not rest. Quick breaks versus deep rest. That's something also. Is like when you get a quick break, that's a break, but also what do you need in that break? Is it like, do you need to just zone out? Because I do feel like sometimes that's good. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but for me, sometimes zoning out is good. Like I'll just like set a limit. I'm like, I'm just gonna zone out for, I don't know, 30 minutes.
I
and
agree.
And
It's
then
not always.
But
negative
anyways, those
thing.
are like a lot of things that look like rest that probably aren't. I feel like rest for me is not having to be on call. For example, not having the monitor with me and giving it to Jacob in the mornings or at night when I'm in my relaxing time, or leaving the house when my mom is there instead of being there, because sometimes I get sucked into like, oh, I'll just go say hi to Romy, and then I'm like not actually resting. Like I want to be able to rejuvenate myself so I have a nicer time later and don't get overwhelmed. So just like not putting myself in a situation where I feel like I am still on call,
Yeah.
or like someone
have to
needs something
be.
from me, because I get really overwhelmed when people keep needing stuff from me. I've noticed that after I put Romy to bed and then my cat is meowing at me,
I can relate because
I yell at her and I feel bad. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm sorry, it's not your fault.
I can relate because of Pokopia. All my Pokemon need me, and I get overwhelmed.
Everyone
Like,
just
please
leave me
do this.
alone. I'm trying to relax and have a fun time here.
Actually, they don't need me. They just usually want to give me a stick or something, which is real
Yeah.
sweet. But they're
I
all like, "Hey, Lela,
give you a
hey!"
stick. Okay.
And I'm like, "Leave me
Leave
alone!"
me alone.
No, I'm
That's what
just
I say to
kidding. I
Romy.
love my Pokemon. I love them. They're cuties. Okay,
And I
continue.
love my cat.
I'm
but
sorry. I'm sorry.
Sometimes I don't.
No.
Just kidding. I like her and I love her. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's the thing that helps me the most. Is just like not having to like be the one planning and be the one to execute things and be the one to like be on and thinking of snacks and thinking of what time we needed to leave and what time we need to go to bed and stuff like that. It's like, so,
A
this
break
is
from
something
the
I wanted
mental
to
load.
mention about breaks too, is there's this book that I can't remember what it's called. And the guy in it says that he has 30 minutes a day with his wife. Every week they go on a date, like every Friday night. And then every 3 months they go on like a 3-night trip, or they have 3 nights away from their kids. And I have been trying to implement that with Jacob in kind of a different way. Like every month I try to have a date day where all day is just us, and Romy is like with you or with mom. And every, like, we haven't been doing this, but I do want to do the trip thing like every few months. Go on like a trip or just like have a staycation in our house for 2 or 3 nights away. I feel like having that's also part of the rhythm,
Yeah.
but like
Yes.
having planned things.
I was thinking about that earlier too, and I forgot to mention it, so I'm glad you did. Because when I was talking about the pressure valve, it's like that's a way to like release small pressures, medium pressures, and a big pressure.
Exactly.
We need all of them probably.
Yeah.
In some way.
Yep. So another thing that we can do to rest more, here's some closing points. Ways to make your life feel a little easier. Don't try to optimize everything. You just have to regulate yourself. When you check in and you start feeling like you're getting a little bit anxious or a little bit overwhelmed, what do I need? Do I need to sleep? Do I need to eat? Do I need help? And then do that thing. Don't do so many decisions a day. Do you know what I don't do anymore? Is fold Romy's laundry. Just little things like that. I just throw them in the drawer. I'm like, this drawer is for shirts. This drawer is for bathing suits and underwear and socks.
I love
Just
that.
like, I learned that from some YouTuber. I wish I could remember her name, but she is like a minimal living parent, and she's like, I don't fold clothes, and I do laundry every day, and it only takes me like 10 minutes. So
I need
doing
to do
stuff
that
like
with my
that,
own
or
laundry.
just like having like outfits that you know you like, so you don't have to think about what am I gonna wear. Just like, I'm gonna wear this outfit that I like, having a uniform, I guess. I don't know. But sometimes it's fun to pick out outfits if you feel like it, but if it feels draining, I feel like it's okay to just wear a uniform.
Nice to have.
And just like have weekly anchors helps. Having true breaks, not being on call, lowering the bar for days that you feel like are hard. Today we're just gonna put on a movie or put on TV. And utilizing your resources. Like, your friends and your family, and sometimes you just need to be alone.
Yep.
Those are the takeaways I would give for breaks.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love that. Those are great tips from your
Thank
lived
you.
experience.
Yeah.
Well, I guess to end, what is one thing that you feel like you need going into this week or whatever? I'm asking you and the listeners. What's one thing you feel like you need when you check in on yourself right now? Do you need rest? And what kind of rest would that be? Do you need something fun that's just like different than we usually do? Do you need consistency? Do you need I can't think of any more examples, but what do you think you need? And what do you want to focus on this week?
I feel like I've had a pretty restful past couple of days, which has been good. I think that's a great question. What do I need when I check in with myself? How about you go first? I need to think about this.
Oh, I don't know either. I think I just need physical activity. Over here, like
You're growing a human, so that will do
but
it.
I know that I should be like, I shouldn't just be like laying and sitting all day. And that's what I would feel like I want to do. So I think to take care of myself, I need to go. I have been walking every day with Antonio. We've been trying to walk every day
That's
together.
good.
Yeah. And I noticed this last time I walked, I was like very out of breath. I was shocked at how not easy it was. Like, am I
Everything
really?
gets very difficult.
Things
slowly.
are getting real.
Yeah.
Things are getting real.
Yep.
Somebody's not in their first trimester anymore. Okay. So that's mine.
Yeah, I like that. I actually started doing 7-minute workouts again, which has been helpful, I think,
Oh.
for me to just I just need to move
Yeah.
in different ways instead of just going up and down stairs all day. But it's good for stretching and making me feel more loose in my body.
Yeah.
I think that I need a vacation a little bit.
Well, good thing you're
Because
going on one next
I was just
week.
gonna say we are gonna go on a little vacation to St. Augustine for 3 nights, and then me, Jacob, and Romy, and not just like a vacation of just me. Like I feel like we need a family vacation.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what we're gonna do.
Like
because I feel like we've been living separate lives.
Mhm.
It's like good to do that with all
you want to connect with your
family.
family.
Yeah, connection, fun times.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. A vacation and for Lily and some movement for me. All right. Well, next time, tune in for our episode on what's our next time episode? I forgot. You'll find out. It'll be a surprise.
We didn't have one. We
I
put a
thought
question mark.
Oh.
But the one after that is on a book.
It's a
that
surprise
I really like.
to us as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, tune in next time for our next episode and like and subscribe if you are interested in more of this content. And thank you for watching Woo Mates. See you in our next episode. Bye.
Bye.